You can do it right, or you can do it twice. All right, tons of stuff to talk about, but I've already did a video about the stock oil pan, the pickup, all that sort of thing, and we've got other things to do with BabyD. But real quickly, just to wrap up the oil pan before I actually put it on, seal it up with a good old Felpro gasket, I had said I wanted to put a baffle in there, basically to help under hard braking, and I did that. Y'all don't make too much fun of my welding. I'm not a welder, I'm a race car driver. But all I did was just added this little tray right here. So when the pickup is here and you slam the brakes on, the oil will have to hit this, which will keep it on the pickup. So you can hard brake this thing and keep oil on the pickup. Pretty simple. Now all we gotta do is put the oil pan on. And I'm turning the camera in such a way that you can't see what's setting right over there. Got tons of stuff to update you guys on BabyD. It's exciting. Hey folks, it is time to open a few packages that have came in while we have been on the road. BabyD. Short block sitting there ready to go, minus cylinder heads. And we've got 2 packages that came in right there from Arrington Performance. Let's open these bad boys up and see what Mike Copeland and the folks at Arrington have sent us here. I'm excited. Old BabyD's done got carried away, but she's going to make a little racket soon. Fingers crossed, hope. Still waiting on a few things, but we're getting closer. So a while back, one of the videos, I said I was getting carried away. Needed to get valve springs put on these heads because we're putting that big old comp cam in here, and talked to Mike Copeland. He's like, send me them heads. And yeah, while he's got them, you know, it's like, hey, Mike's like, got these things, we might as well CNC port them. Arrington Performance, you can send your heads to them, they can CNC port them, send them back to you ready to go, and cannot wait to see what they look like. And I know that this thing just gained a ton of horsepower. Moving air is what makes these things make power. When they can flow more air, they're going to make more power. So I'm excited to see what Mike and everybody up at Arrington Performance did to these heads. I want to see what they look like. Cannot wait to get this thing done and go out there and stomp on the loud pedal. It's going to be awesome. This thing's going to be fun. It's going to be a certified ripper is what Brent would say. So let's check them out, y'all. See what we got. Millie's excited to see these cylinder heads. Millie, you excited to see these cylinder heads? I am. There they are, y'all. Fresh. Woo. Dang. Look at the port on that thing. That is awesome. Talk about straight shot right through to the valve. Arrington Performance. Man, that is just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I'm sorry, I can't get the camera where it's supposed to be. Got the comp beehive springs on there, locks retainers, the dual plug. Valves look awesome, brand new valves. Look like they might have decked them a little bit. Wow, them look awesome. Look so good. Man, that freaking intake port is beautiful. Wow. Get y'all a little more light in there. Man, Mike and them did not mess around. These things are beauties. Beauties. I gotta hurry up and get this thing done so I can hear it run. Can't wait. Arrington Performance, Mike, thank you. These look beautiful. Can't wait to be mean to them. Because you know that's what's going to happen. Man, oh man, oh man. Them look freaking nice. Nice, nice, nice. Wow. I love go fast stuff. So stuff just keeps rolling in for this project. BabyD is going to be awesome. So just showed you the cylinder heads. Another thing we've been waiting on is the lifters. They have came in from Comp Cams. Some good old hydraulic roller lifters. The other thing that came in are the little trays, buckets, yokes, whatever you want to call them. They're what keep the lifters in the motor straight. We'll go through some of all that stuff, but Comp for the win. Lifters and push rods. Just more stuff. Make it go fast. Well, I continue to learn on this new style HEMI. So the lifters that I'm used to in the top fuel car actually have a bar that connects them from here to here and keeps them in line so that they run on the camshaft and keeps the wheels squared up. Where these new model motors have this little, I don't know if, I hate to call it plastic, but I feel like that's what it is. Bolts in the block. You can see there's flats on the lifter here. And these just go right in like that. That keeps the lifter wheel squared up to the camshaft, and it's got a single bolt and it just fits right in the blocks. Definitely not the kind of thing that I'm used to, but that's how these new HEMIs are. I know the Comp lifters are awesome, and I'll be able to really get after this thing and rev it up. Comp sent me these push rods. These things are tiny compared to the lifters that are in a fuel car. So looks like this one's 6.80 long, 0.80 thick. This one is 8.1 inches long, 0.80 thick. Really nice push rods. All the Comp stuff's always super nice, and it's just so tiny compared to what I'm used to. But I do know that this thing ought to be able to turn a lot of RPM. The hydraulic rollers are so much better than they were a long time ago. All I got to do is soak them, let them get lubed up, get it all assembled. Waiting on a few more parts. Then we'll get old BabyD. We'll have her motor complete. It's coming along, y'all. Let's get with it. All right. Along with the theme of learning these new HEMIs. So I may be saying this wrong, but this 2018 5.7 HEMI had a MDS system. I think that's multi-displacement system. The computer would tell the solenoid to dump the oil on lifter to make cylinder quit working. And I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me that I'm not doing that right, but it's got 4 of these in here. Got these little pieces. I'll take these out, put those in. Basically, it'll do away with that system. I want this thing to run on 8 all the time. I know the MDS system is there to save fuel. Not really totally concerned with the fuel mileage on this thing, but those got to come out. These little things got to go in, do away with that system. There's that little tray I was telling you about with the lifters. That's where they go. It's kind of cool. The lifters go straight in like that. Now, all we got to do is get to work, start assembling. All right. Can't wait. Going to start putting on these Arrington Performance cylinder heads. Can't believe how good those things look. The CNC Port Job Arrington did looks great. It's going to pick up a pile of power. Got my instructions. Torque to yield bolts, something I'm not familiar with. We do torque to yield on the mains in the top fuel car, but got to be honest, I am not real familiar with them. Let's get started. One thing I am going to do today, I've done in other videos, I did go and print off some questions from previous videos. Got a few of them here. We'll answer a few questions. Go grab Felpro head gasket, the comp lifters, block offs for the MDS system. Let's get started. I just created a problem for myself. First one of those things, took the bolt out, wiggled it a few times, right out. That one turned into this. Now we got work to do. Hopefully, it will just come right on out. We shall see. While the fight begins on trying to get that freaking piece out. Like I say, that would come right out. The next one didn't. Said I was going to answer some questions. So Dan Holland asked, any chance getting a camera down track to see your whole run and or blow-ups? Well, Dan, thanks for asking that. And while I agree it would be awesome to be able to show you folks some more down track runs, but the thing is, a couple things actually. One is the YouTube is pretty much, for the most part, it's me filming. I do have a GoPro, and I edit these things on iMovie with my cell phone, and that's how the videos you guys see, that's how I do them. And as far as a camera down track, it'd be kind of hard for me to put a camera down track, then go get it after the run, and you would kind of miss me and Mike in the lounge downloading, you know, the info amongst ourselves about what the run felt like. The other problem is, I don't know that NHRA would allow me to have a camera down track. If I find footage that comes from the grandstands, you know, that other people post, I can put that up, but as far as having my own camera down track, yeah, I can't do that. Anyway, appreciate the question, and I don't know that that really answers it, other than if the YouTube got big enough and I had somebody that was like dedicated to doing the filming, that would be awesome. I would love that. And that's kind of hopefully the goal one day. You know, it can be more than me and a couple people every now and then that do get videos for me. Like I said, the other thing is, like when PFI Speed comes or Booster Boys come, they can't or weren't allowed to upload videos of the car going down the racetrack until it's been on FS1 or Fox, whatever channel that it's on. And that is because the NHRA owns the footage, and you're not allowed to post it until after it's been on television. Hey, I've got this thing moving here. Now if I can just get it to come up and out. Nope, not yet. Anyway, Dan, thank you for watching. Hopefully, I don't know that I really answered your question, but that's part of the reason why you don't see any downtrack stuff. And I really would love to show it, but especially without the blow-ups, though. We've had too many of those lately. All right, I'm going to go back to work. They were a bit of a pain, but got them all out, even the one I broke off. These things are kind of interesting. Not really sure how they work, other than I know they do something with taking the oil away from lifters. I've unbolted these, and you can see these lifters have a hole in them. These do not. So I'm assuming that must cut that cylinder off, and probably the same cuts off 4 cylinders. So now we'll just stick the plugs in there that I got right here, and these are just block it off, I guess. We're learning. All right, old lifters are out of 6 and 8 here. Like I said, I've had them soaking in the oil for days. Not sure exactly if I need to put them in the trays first or right in here first. But the initial thing we're going to do is this way. I bet you I got to put them in the trays first. Not sure. Got brand new trays from Comp. As slippery as they are and easy as they're going in the lifter bore, probably need to put them in here first. And then slide them in the motor. What's crazy is I had the deck of the block all nice and clean, ready to go. I'll have to clean that again. Well, simple enough. Right in. Interesting. So it's like it cuts the center 2 cylinders off, at least on this side. Interesting. I just want to answer another question while we're sitting here. Leslie Harper. Who is Doug? Team owner, sponsor. So Doug is Doug Stringer. The name of our team is Stringer Performance. So I have known Doug for a long, long time. And Doug, I think going on 20 years now, has been involved with Great Clips, the salon, haircutting people. Anything you've seen with Great Clips and motorsports, that has went through Doug's office, essentially. Meaning, if it had anything to do with like Casey Kane, Darren Pittman, me with the Top Fuel car, it went through Doug's office, and then from there to Great Clips for approval or disapproval. So I've known this about Doug for many, many years, that essentially to work with Great Clips, you worked with Doug. And I had bugged him for years to go drag racing with me, obviously. And I was to a spot to where I needed to, you always need to find more money, but I was at a spot where I really needed to find more money to essentially keep a job in a Top Fuel car. I had my Parts Plus deal, and the team owner that I was driving for at the time, his business was really, really taking off, and he was not going to be able to continue doing all of the NHRA races. So from that, I really started blowing Doug up, and I don't know that he ever really intended to, but that turned into Doug buying the equipment and starting Stringer Performance. And that is how that all happened. So Doug became my team owner, a guy that I was actually just chasing for sponsorship through Great Clips, turned into being the guy that owns my race team and who I drive for. And I think it's, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years now, something like that. Awesome guy, him and his wife, they're great people. And that's how that worked, y'all. Thanks for the question, Leslie. I've went ahead and cleaned the deck all up, put my Felpro MLS gasket on there. Notice that it says R1 1, so I'm assuming right side, which to me is passenger side. I have used Felpro gaskets my entire life. Long story short on that, young man named Peter Lehman, whose family owned the Felpro gasket company, is how I ended up in a top fuel car. Became friends with Peter. It's a long story I'll have to tell y'all sometime, but Felpro is super special to me, that's for sure. Wouldn't be in a top fuel car if it wasn't for the Lehman family and Peter Lehman. So, Felpro gasket going on. I've cleaned the head real nice. Looks like Arrington Performance may have decked it just a little bit, just to make sure that the surface is nice and flat. The ports are absolutely beautiful. Now I've got to learn about this torque to yield thing. Time to put cylinder heads on. Looks good, right? Cylinder heads back on with a big old CNC ported Arrington Performance heads. Looks really good. But what's the old saying? You live and you learn. Well, I've learned a couple things. One thing I've learned, this is not the ideal way to do torque to yield for reading, turning, in the case of these bolts, 90 degrees. The other thing I have learned is these heads go on one particular way. In other words, there's a left and a right. I will go ahead and tell you that that cylinder head is torqued on and ready to go. That cylinder head is not, because it dawned on me there are bolt holes right here, and if you go over here, there are not bolt holes right there, which means I had to go back and do a little looking at photos of the power steering kit that Holly sent me that I had bolted on, and guess what? It bolted to these 3 bolts that were right there. So what that means is I've got to take that cylinder head back off, and I've also got to go and buy some more torque to yield bolts. Bolts. That's not the first time I've done that. Yes, that is quite frustrating, but hey, I did it, and it's part of living and learning. So, get to try again. Learn how to use this thing a little better. I really need to go buy the proper weapon for that, because I know they got a wrench that reads angles, degrees, whatever, a torque wrench type thing. All right, take it back apart. You know what Mike Klober has told me that his grandmother always said? You can do it right, or you can do it twice. In the case of that cylinder head, I get to do it twice. Dadgummit. All right. Ran to Parts Plus. Got myself another set of torque to yield Felpro bolts. Man, what is it with me and that word? Anyway, let's try again. I now have passenger side head, driver side head. I think I've got them correct. While I was getting these bolts ready to go in, I thought I'd answer another question. Eric Beckett Sr., with the technology the way it is today, do you ever see turbos going into top fuel? And this don't, I'm sorry, Eric, but and y'all using ECUs like from Fuel Tech. Well, Eric, truth is, back before my time, there were some top fuel cars out there that ran turbos. This was long before the turbo technology is where it is today. But I do not think you will see turbos in top fuel, because most likely the NHRA will not allow for us to run turbos, because they're already at the point that they want to slow us down, or at the very least not have us going much faster than what we already do, which is they kind of want us to stay around that 330 mile an hour mark. That's kind of what they're hoping, is to keep us around 330. As far as ECUs, I don't know that they would let us go with a fuel tech type deal, mainly because there are traction control capabilities within that. While saying that, there is also traction control capabilities in the MSD grid, which is what we currently use, the MSD grid. But our grid is a top fuel grid. It has a part number, and we cannot get to the part in the timing setup that would allow us to access the old traction control. While yes, racers are smart enough to figure out a way around it, but if you mess with that, it actually sets off lights on the grid itself and NHRA randomly and from time to time does come and check our grid. They can plug up to it. They have a device from MSD so that they can go in and check and see if it has been tampered with. So I don't think you'll be seeing turbos or a different ignition system in Top Fuel. But again, if we had it, the crew chiefs would figure it out, that's for sure. But I don't think we'll get it. But thank you for the question. I'm gonna see if I can do this one more time and not have to do it again. Cylinder heads are on, and they're on correctly, I think. I wanted to answer another question real quick. Andy B, I would like to know what your quickest 60 foot of all time is. I happen to have the time slip right here, and my quickest 60 foot time ever is 0.809. 0.809. And just to finish out that, this was, at the time I did this, the quickest run in history. It was the national record for, I don't know, almost like 2 years or something like that. So 809, 60 foot, 2.047 to the 330, 2.897 to the 8th mile. So 289 to the 8th, and I'm pretty sure that's still the quickest 8th mile ever. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure. I do know it's the first Top Fuel car, first race car to go 2.8 anything in the 8th mile. So 2.897, 296 miles an hour at half track. I do know that cars have been faster to half track, and that run was a 3.628 at 322 miles an hour. Definitely remember this run. It was Pomona, California. I actually shut off a little bit early, and the speed was down, so that's why it only went 322 miles an hour. The record currently is 3.623. So, and that's Brittany Force. She's got the record at 3.623. I think this is still the second quickest run ever, but anyway, Andy B, to answer your question, my quickest ever 60 foot, 0.809. That'll peel your ears back, I promise you that. That is definitely getting with the program, no doubt about it. Enough with the questions. Let's talk HEMI. So the long block, for the most part, is together. Super excited how the cylinder heads come out from Arrington Performance. Mr. Mike Copeland, thank you. They're beautiful. The way the valve guides are cut. Let's see if I can find a little light here and shine in there on that real quick. But the heads are absolutely gorgeous, the way they come out. I love the way they look. Like I said, the way that the valve guides are cut is just absolutely beautiful. Everything's just shaped so nicely. The CNC porting is beautiful. The exhaust side is also absolutely gorgeous. This thing ought to really run good. I mean, it's you know, it's not a top fuel race motor, and it's not supposed to be. This should be an awesome street motor. Ought to be pretty high revving. I do not know how high, but got the MDS system out of it. Got the comp lifters in it. Got the comp camshaft in it. Got the Arrington heads, the Beehive springs, the Velcro head gaskets. Got a little practice with the torque to yield thing. I don't like it. I prefer a torque wrench. I guess if I had one of those wrenches that, you know, told you the angle, that'd probably be okay. I saw some online, but the majority of the time I don't mess with that. And I don't know, the torque to yield thing's just weird. Excited. Now the next step is probably fixing something that I broke on the intake manifold off of the Dodge Charger this thing come out of. When I was trying to get the oil pan to fit in there, I absolutely broke a piece off of the intake manifold. I do kind of want to use the Charger intake manifold. I don't know if there's any performance advantage there or not, but that's the game plan at the moment. I will try to see if maybe I can fix the intake. I don't know because it's plastic, which is also weird to me, but a lot of the new cars do have plastic on them. All good though, folks. This thing is getting closer and closer. I'm gonna go ahead and dress out the front of it, get all of my Holley brackets on there, the alternator, the Holley alternator, the power steering pump, all that stuff that Holley sent to go on this thing. And we're getting closer and closer. Excited. It's going to be good and fun. Anyway, everybody, thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, sharing. I keep hearing everybody talk about turn on that bell notification. That way you know when my videos come out. This is fun though. This whole truck project come about because of you guys, and I'm not racing all the time. Seems like it lately, but when I'm not racing, this really gives me something to do. I love working on cars and stuff, and I love going fast. So anyway, see you next time. Thanks, guys.